They say we are worthless.
They say we only care about ourselves.
They say we are always late. They say we're not committed to school. They say we are lazy. They say we cannot make plans.
They say we don't have money. They say we are loners.
They say we are forever in trouble.
We always feel like nobody understands, but we are more than that.
Some people understand, some people don't. And some people who don't understand don't realise how hard it can be and how stressful and frustrating it actually is.
I wasn't embarrassed, I was actually quite proud of myself I am because of what I'm doing to help out my parents. So I felt quite proud of telling my friends, and at least that way they know what I got to do at home.
When I realised I was caring for my mum, I hardly went out to see my friends, even though going out to see my friends wasn't even the problem. I was allowed to, but I just stayed at home taking care of my mum.
I told my friends that I was a carer. They would talk to me say, "Oh, does this mean you're in care or something?" Because they wasn't sure what I meant by young carers and all this. So I tell them what I did and why I did it and all this, and then they understood after a while.
My name's Cerys Olsen-Jones and I work with the young adult carers, so it's unpaid carers between the ages of 18 to 25. It's anybody that does more than would be normally expected of a family member to look after somebody, a family member who's got a disability, substance misuse problem. So it's somebody that gives up their time to look after that member of the family.
Ideally there's about 6 of us in the team and we all work really closely together, but we do have our own kind of areas of specialism, I suppose you could say. So my job is to oversee the kind of young carer side of it, but I make sure that we work really closely with Claire, who manages the adult side of it as well.
In a year we probably deal with about 100 new referrals. They are quite socially isolated, so they might be low in self-confidence. They may not even know that they're a young carer, so they may be sort of looking for that help and guidance to sort of help them understand their rights as a young carer and the services that can be provided for them.
They've always had this role, or they've had this role for a number of years, and it's their mum or dad that they're looking after, so they just see it as part of their everyday life. And always when I go to see young people, they say, well, you know, I'm happy to do this, it's not a big deal, I've always done it. So it's firstly trying to get them to identify that actually what they're doing is different to other young people.
I usually keep it to myself a lot, so school didn't know. The only reason I keep it to myself because I suffer with Asperger's and anxiety, so I struggle with expressing of what I'm thinking and what I'm feeling. As much as I wanted to tell someone, I just didn't know how to explain it. And I didn't know whether they would understand or not.
I think in the last census in 2011, there's about over 2,500 sort of young carers aged between 0 and 24 were identified through the census. But as we always say, that's just probably the tip of the iceberg, because a lot of young people and families don't identify that they are carers.
Yeah, they take on huge responsibilities, and you know, you're in awe sometimes of the type of things that they may do to help family members, the roles that they take on, still then trying to sort of have a social life, go to school. They take on massive roles, and you're just sort of there to value them then and make them feel sort of as special as they are.
Some of them have come from situations that I couldn't possibly imagine being in, and have progressed and have just done really well. I don't think if I was faced with the situation that some of them were faced with, I would be able to do as well as they have.
Well, I've seen lots of things advertised, and when I saw this I thought this is a nice informal way of meeting people in the same situation, and it's in a nice, relaxed, friendly atmosphere. So I've been really enjoying it. It's really good.
A lot of the carers that we're in contact with, they don't have any other support other than the project. So I think some of them describe as a lifeline really, that they can get out, they can learn things, they can do things, they can be social and they can meet other people, and isolation is definitely the main barrier I think when it comes to caring then. I think that's really important, where they can come very much be themselves, talk with other carers in very similar situations to themselves and just share experiences. And a lot of the time, that's all they want really, is to share their experience and to learn from each other as well.
Gradually, my mother's become more and more frail, and although mentally she's quite alert, I just find it is nice just to talk to people in the same situation.
Some people that, you know, are members of the project, they've been caring for many, many years. You know, they've been through the systems, they know the different support on offer, sometimes better than staff members themselves. And I think talking to carers then, carers talking to each other, you can learn a lot from each other and be pointed in the right direction, really.
I can't stress it enough, really, but I think, you know, the way things are going, there's less and less money for certain things, and people might not see this as important, but it is very important to look at, if you can't look after yourself first, then you won't be able to look after the person you're caring for.
A lot of similarities, you know, for everyone who cares, but today we had, you know, we had our parent carers, we had our carers who care for their mum and dad, we had people who care for each other even, who are in that very sort of mutual caring situation. So very, very varied. And in reality, they do have a lot in common, even though their caring role or the person they care for might be different. There's a lot of commonality really there.
Part of the role really is offering one-to-one support. So if they need somebody to talk to, we've got different services. So we've got a counselling service that we can refer to, but it's just really a befriending service, really, spending time with them, finding out how I can best support them.
We work with a number of organisations and agencies to provide the right level of care and support to ensure the well-being and independence of that person and the family, because we support everyone who's affected by the dementia. But for carer support, it is important because we can't effectively do it on our own. If we work together, then that support is greater than what we can just deliver on our own. We do it to show that there is somebody here, there is somebody at the end of the phone, there is somebody who knows what you're going through, and these groups here benefit them. I think a group like this opens their eyes to the symptoms, the understanding, the knowledge, the coping techniques, the distractions, anything that we can help them with to go back and support their loved one or whoever they are supporting, knowing that whatever that person's presenting they can cope with and use, then that will relieve the stress. I get a sense of pride that I'm helping somebody else. Caring for somebody else means that I could be the only person speaking to them that day. So I could prevent isolation and social interaction by integrating them into groups and activities and a number of things.
I think some people like to see immediate change and want to see, you know, what the outcomes are. And yeah, sometimes it is a fact that, you know, if you've got a young person who's left school, got no qualifications, is at home now with the person that they care for, and that's what they're doing. They have no contact really with anybody else. It's going to take a long time then to start building that relationship and building their confidence, finding out, you know, what it is that they want to do, and sort of helping them to move forward with their lives and balance caring whilst doing what they want to be doing. So, and that can take a long time.
We had a bit of money from Arts and Cultural Services within RCT to do a small project around young carers where they wrote some songs around their caring roles. So from that project, it was like we were asked would we like to take part in producing a musical. So all young carers were invited to take part in the musical. They went away on a residential where they come up with the theme of the musical.
My role has been head makeup artist, so making sure everybody has the right suitable makeup to go on stage with. I was always really shy when I used to come, and I used to be really, really quiet and wouldn't really speak unless somebody spoke to me first. Whereas now I'll just walk into a room and be like, oh, hello, and have no problem. But you realise that they are young, and as they get older, they'll develop and will be more confident.
So tonight's the night. We will be starting shortly and taking a short interval, so please show your support for the young and young adult carer cast as they perform an original musical, We Will Rise Again.
I think if I was their age, I would love to be doing it. I'd probably be out do every single part, singing, dancing, doing it all, you know.
I'm just singing a song in the beginning of the musical. Ever since I was a little girl, I've always wanted to perform on stage. I was really excited and I just wanted to be a part of it straight away. It takes me away from the house, and things like rehearsals and things like coming out here to do these things, they take my mind off things in the house and just help me just focus on me and what I want to do and things like that.
These young people really rely on us. For some of them, they're so isolated. It's the only time they get out of the house. It's the people that they know, all of their friends are based around the group that we have. So without that, they go back to square one. It's incredibly important.
Yeah, you can't see yourself as a role model because you know what they're going through. You know how things are different to what, say, a normal young person's life is. They can just wake up and go and do what they want to do, whereas as a young carer, you can't. You're always thinking about somebody else and caring for somebody else.
I want people to understand how stressful it can be sometimes with just caring, and what we have to go through for a daily basis, how we help out.
I think it's really important to keep RCT carers going to help everybody out.
Getting to meet new people and having more of a social life outside the house now. That really, and getting to go places and just having that stress pulled off my shoulders.
We've invited to come along and get involved in a film, which is hopefully going to be raising awareness of carers of all ages, so young carers, young adult carers, and parent carers. They're going to write the script themselves, so we're going to collect their ideas and get a script together, and then they're going to act in that film, and they're going to have some experience of using the cameras and using sound editing software, video editing software, create some drawings, and just put it all together to create this awesome, hopefully, film that's going to raise awareness to schools and, well, everybody, any organisation we can get it into, we will.